ISL clubs want players to take salary cuts, take a pay cut, so that the ISL season can be salvaged. For a few months now, there has been a halt to domestic football, primarily because the AIFF, the ISL, has not been able to put together a financial structure, has not been able to attract enough bids to be able to put the domestic football back on track. And the only solution now that ISL clubs believe is to have players agree upon pay cuts, and that's the only way possible to go ahead and resume footballing activities, domestic footballing activities in the country. There is a meeting that took place, and out of that meeting, the biggest takeaway that's come about now is a notification, in fact, has been sent to the Sports Ministry and to the AIFF by the ISL clubs. 9 clubs were of the opinion that the only way of salvaging the situation is by having players agree for a salary cut. So much of the money has already been dispersed, and what clubs are now saying is that of the large chunk of money that they have to pitch in, 60 to 70% of that expense is all about player salaries. They believe they've already spent a lot of it for the ongoing season anyway. But for them to have a scenario where ISL resumes, that too in the absence of a commercial partner, then the only commercially viable way, so that the interest of the club owners is also kept in mind, is also sustainable, then the only way possible is that players agree for pay cuts. Now, how do you go about that? There can be legal implications of that as well. We've seen too many players in the past accuse clubs. In fact, at the moment, I know Kylian Mbappe has also moved court against his club Real Madrid for non-payment of salary. So we know that labor laws are in place, and especially foreign players will not think twice before taking ISL clubs to the court. But this is exactly the situation that the ISL does not want. This is exactly what the AIFF does not want, and that's why this notification, that's why they want to reach a solution so that player contracts don't have to be terminated, because that will also lead to these complications. What they want is there to be a resolution between the players and the AIFF. This is what they want right now. ISL clubs also don't want to be in this whole scenario, but it's easier said than done. You can't really have that. This is very much a contractual agreement, and clubs have to go ahead and honor their commitment. But the situation is extraordinary, and that is what the clubs are being mindful of. They want there to be an amicable solution and then head in that direction, so that there aren't any legal troubles, there aren't any complications going forward. They are even willing to go ahead and take into account if there is any past precedent of there being such commercial troubles that a league may have faced, and how is it that player contracts were then looked at. They're open to looking at those past precedents as well. But what they want is somehow ISL to resume, somehow domestic football get back, somehow players get their livelihood back. So many clubs have already gone ahead and said that we can't afford your salaries. So for all of that to happen, they want there to be a pay cut. Players agree for a pay cut. Well, will the players go ahead and accept this? This is something we'll have to wait and see.